Yo, what's going on, guys? CultofMush back at it with another video, and in this video, I want to take a look at the best graphics in PC gaming in 2015. I'm going to be looking at 5 specific games, and these are just games that I have personally played. So if you don't agree with my list, let me know your guys' list of what games you thought were the best looking games in PC gaming of 2015. Without further ado, let's get right into this with number 5. We'll get the obvious one out of the way, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This is a game that I'm pretty sure most of you guys are sick and tired of hearing me praise, but the visuals in this game, I know there was a graphical downgrade over the time from when it was initially announced to the final release, but I was still amazed by the visuals actually playing the game. Just the incredible amount of detail in the world and the facial features of people like Geralt and all the characters in the game. The lighting in the game is also very good. The blood. CD Projekt Red always crafts everything in their games with a ridiculous amount of detail, and that's no different with The Witcher 3. Keep in mind that if you are a fan of the graphics that were revealed back in, 2013 when the game was initially announced, there are some mods out for the game that do make the game look a little bit better and has that darker tint to it. So if you guys do want the game to look more like that, you can go ahead and download those mods. And that's the beauty of PC gaming, you can always mod your games. I personally have just stuck with vanilla Witcher 3 since I think it looks fine. But some of you guys will want to download those mods. But The Witcher 3, I think the game looks fantastic. And graphically, it's one of the best of the year. Number 4, we have Grand Theft Auto 5. Yes, a game that was initially released on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 back in 2013. How can an old game like this be on the list for the best graphics in PC gaming? That's because GTA 5 on PC is almost a different game compared to the console counterparts. The detail in the game, the draw distance, and the PC version of Grand Theft Auto 5 looks and plays so much differently than the console versions. And keep in mind that Grand Theft Auto 5 is this gigantic open world, so having that really great draw distance is crucial to an open world game like this. And I remember while I was playing the game on the PlayStation 3 when it originally came out, being a PC gamer for a while at that time, I was just like, oh my god, these graphics are absolutely terrible. Obviously for the consoles they were good, but I remember everybody was praising GTA 5's graphics, and as a PC gamer I was just like, oh my god, the frame rate's terrible, the draw distance is hideous. But on PC, Grand Theft Auto 5 is by far the definitive version of the game. GTA 5 also has some mods out right now that improve the graphics, so if you guys want even better graphics out of GTA 5, well, go download those mods. Number 3, we got Dying Light. Dying Light is one of the more underrated games of the year. It was released back in January. And Dying Light is also a very good looking game. The lighting in Dying Light, no pun intended, is very, very good. That's the one thing I noticed when I started playing Dying Light. I was like, oh my god, the lighting in this game is great. The shadows and the sunlight specifically looked really, really good. And the detail on the zombies in the world was very good as well. If you guys haven't played Dying Light, it's one of the more underrated games of the year. It came out very early in the year. At this point, you can probably pick it up for very cheap, but graphically, it's a very good looking game, and I highly recommend you check it out. Number 2, we got Star Wars Battlefront. This is the only game on the list. Yes, it's on the list, but I would not recommend you to go out and buy it. I was not a fan of Star Wars Battlefront, obviously, for the lack of content. No single player, just has a lack of content. But you cannot deny DICE's technical achievements with Star Wars Battlefront. The game looks incredible. When I first booted this game up and I was just playing it at 1080p, I was like, oh my god, the detail in this game is ridiculous. And then there's people playing the game at 4K and the game looks even more ridiculous. Star Wars Battlefront is one of the best looking games of all time. And while the game might not be anything to write home about, DICE has done an immaculate job with the visuals in Star Wars Battlefront. Let's just hope by the time the sequel releases for Star Wars Battlefront, they add more content, it's a more fleshed out game, and at the end of the day, that'll make it a game that's visually good, but also a game that gamers actually want to play. I would not recommend Star Wars Battlefront for the $60 price tag unless you are a huge Star Wars fan, or you just want to see a game for its technical achievement, because Star Wars Battlefront is a technical achievement. Finally, number 1, and I wanted to mention this last because number 1 is different from the rest of this list in that it doesn't have great visuals in the sense of big budget graphical production, but Ori and the Blind Forest is as good of a looking game as any other. And yes, it's a game that you can run on a very low-end PC, but that's not where Ori and the Blind Forest thrives. Ori and the Blind Forest thrives on having an amazing art style. The watercolor look in the game is breathtaking and it looks great. I know a lot of you guys might disagree with me on including Ori and the Blind Forest on this list, but honestly guys, if you haven't, go play the game and tell me that graphically it's not one of the better games. Yes, it's not a technical achievement like Star Wars Battlefront, but art style does count for something. And the art direction in Ori and the Blind Forest is amazing. And I really do think it should be commended for that reason because there's multiple ways in having good visuals in a game. It doesn't have to be a game like Star Wars Battlefront or The Witcher 3. If you don't have a gigantic budget, Ori and the Blind Forest's art direction is amazing. And on that basis, I really wanted to give it a mention in this video because I think it's one of the best looking games of the year. I think it looks as good as any other game. And that's based off the art direction, the world in Ori and the Blind Forest. Everything in the game, especially its visuals, complement each other, and it makes it more of an atmospheric game, which I think is the best part about Ori and the Blind Forest. So that's gonna wrap up this video. I just wanted to mention these 5 games for their graphical achievements in gaming. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree with this? By the way, these games weren't ranked based on which games I think were graphically in order. Obviously, I don't think Ori and the Blind Forest is a better looking game than Star Wars Battlefront. These games both achieved their graphical excellence in different ways, so you really can't compare them, but I still wanted to showcase them for having that graphical excellence. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. If you have a request for a future video, leave it in the comment section down below. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.